All right. Well, thanks for being here, guys. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. I think it's a fantastic way of doing a lot of stuff, as we'll talk about. So, this course is unlike a lot of market profile information out there. You could spend hours online, and I think you would find that it's like, okay, I understand excess and what a poor high is and these different concepts, but it's like really bringing it down to a usable, tradable type of system. Like that's where I feel like I offer something to the market profile world. It allows you for and what we hope to do today is a deeper understanding of auction markets themselves. Whether any of you ever walk out of here and fire up a market profile chart or not, I think understanding markets from an auction perspective, which is what they are auctions, is hugely, hugely important. Whether you just end up using it in price action or you develop it into profiles. This is just one part of what I would consider if I were to train another trader what's required to be a holistic great trader, okay? A framework, this middle one here, a market framework, a way to gauge context, okay? We might find a wedge pattern intraday, but what's the context of that particular wedge pattern? This is a fantastic framework to put that stuff within. Other parts of being a consistent trader, which are in different courses and things we'll talk about at different times, are your belief systems and your self-awareness, all those kind of things, as well as going down to kind of what I would say lower time frame and getting very familiar with order flow and different tactics and ways of doing things. Again, within a framework, within an operating belief system, and being aware of your own emotions and all that kind of stuff. That's how we really bring everything together. This course will help you be able to manage expectations. Okay, we talked about that wedge pattern or perhaps a breakout pattern. Is this a good one or not a good one? Okay, how do we differentiate context? Trade management. I mean, almost every webinar we do or anything, we have people that ask about, I'm having trouble with trade management. I'm getting out of trades and they end up running, and I'm deciding to take a quick scalp. You know, well, they take a quick scalp and it keeps running, or the opposite, right? I get tired of that and then I don't, and then it, turns around. So, how to develop hypotheses. This is something that you guys have begun to do as trainees and whatnot, and on the AM sheet, not only what's the news catalyst, what are the key levels, but I think the most critical component of the AM sheet is where you distill all that down into a game plan, how to attack something, develop several hypotheses of if-then statements, and how if you develop a deeper understanding of auction markets, your hypotheses can be better. If we get beyond this level and do this, the implications of that are stronger, better order flow for you to profit from. We'll talk about how to practice and develop this skill set of using market profile. It's very nuanced. It's not just something that we can create an algo for and then have spitting out information for us. It's a very visual, very nuanced, very discretionary type of thing. And then I believe next week, Beliefs in Psychology with Dr. Steenberg. It's always a critical component of trading well. So the need for market profile is real. Most people start out, maybe people at home watching this video, probably all of us when we first started, unless we just came straight to SMB, which most of us didn't. We find the secret indicator, right? We find the combination of this period moving average and this RSI. Oh man, I'm going to crush it, right? That's typically the beginning stages of finding success and looking for success in trading. Worse yet, even looking outside of market-generated information. Going to CNBC and predictions and thinking this fundamental or that fundamental and whatnot. And that can be fine for investing, but we're traders. We need to be right, and we need to time that trade perfectly, so to speak. We really need to focus on actual market-generated information. not where this mathematical derivation of where two moving averages are relative to each other, which would be something like MACD, right? That's something that's just derived from some moving averages. We're going to look at learning the language of the market, of the participants of the market, and be able to determine what it's telling us, what the current condition is, all these kind of things. Risk reward is something that gets tossed around very, very loosely in the trading world. We can create risk reward out of thin air, so to speak. I could pull up a chart right now. I could say, okay, here's my risk, it's 10 cents. Here's my reward, it's 30 cents. That's 3-to-1, baby, right? But how good is that, right? We need to know the real structure, the real dynamic of market movement, which is what we can learn from auction market theory and market profile. One of the really cool things about this is that it's product and time frame agnostic. Doesn't matter. You could be a portfolio manager and you could have yearly profiles up and looking at how that's developing year to year for massively long-term decisions. It works across the spectrum. So Jim Dalton, one of the founding fathers of market profile, talks about self-understanding and market understanding. You combine those and that's how we achieve mastery. Linda Bradford Rashke, one of the market wizards, right? She also discusses this self plus market understanding. And she goes further. She talks about kind of 3 steps. Where to trade, she recommends using market profile. Where is risk reward? Where should we be looking for opportunity? Okay? And then when to trade, we learn to read the tape, we learn to apply those kind of things, right? And then sure, you can use indicators to help confirm things. Have we gotten above VWAP and we're holding above VWAP, right? Different things like that. Even an RSI, I'm not saying RSI can never be used, but within a framework, within a context, sure. Our favorite, Dr. Brett Steenbarger. Search his blog for there's one article I came across last night in preparing for this. How to learn trading. He says to start with a framework of market understanding. Start with a framework. And at various firms he's worked at, one in Chicago in particular, he was telling me that the only piece of recommended reading that he had, and maybe he should have said one of his books or something, but no, he didn't. He said a market profile book. One of Jim Dalton's book was the only required reading. A framework, a way to see, you'll hear me use this term a lot, the story unfolding. We, and some guys on the chat online participating right now would call this a narrative. You develop a narrative. That's all part of the hypotheses of what's unfolding, okay? A way to determine the current market condition. We will define that term. We'll get very, very clear on what that is. Understand risk reward again. See beyond just price alone, okay? Open, high, low, close only tells us so much, okay? Now, nothing is perfect. There is no holy grail. There is nothing that just solves all our problems and makes our lives super easy. No, but I do think this is a fantastic framework to operate within, okay? All we can, at any point in time, a different news event could come out, a huge trader somewhere, a fund could have to liquidate due to some kind of redemptions or whatever, and it can change the dynamic of a market that you could have perfectly analyzed with whatever you're using. It can change like that and you're wrong in your trade. That's the kind of randomness that we deal with in markets, and we'll never get around that. So today I want to cover points 1 and 2 here as it relates to market profile specifically. We're going to talk about auction market theory, and we are going to talk about the basics of market profile. Tomorrow we're going to start constructing composite profiles, which is really where the magic is at. And then the following day we're going to talk about market dynamics, the study of markets, how they move in relation to all this stuff.